yet.
We're getting there. Oh, that's
Yay,
the
I hear
Golden
you
Girls
now.
living room.
Yeah, you
You're
know
literally in
it.
the Golden Girls living room. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yes.
I am. This is how my home is decorated. Yes. Now.
And look at me. I'm lame. I have a fucking map behind me. And
I'm in a closet.
Kristen's in a closet. Like, you're literally on a movie set.
I know.
Yeah.
Life is cool down here in Florida, right?
We can tell who the real professional is.
We got the Tiger King and we got the Golden Girls living room. Like, this is our claim to fame.
Dude, can we just talk about that for like 30 seconds?
You're going to
Oh,
have to because we have 40 minutes and an entire podcast to
Okay.
record, so you better
Yeah.
make it quick.
30 seconds isn't enough for that tiger bullshit.
Exactly.
I started watching it the other night and I can't stop. Fuck
No
Carol
spoilers.
Baskin. She killed her husband.
She totally
Yeah.
killed her husband.
And that
Yes.
guy is crazy. Okay,
100%.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do an entire podcast on that, and we should. That should be after we wrap up our sex
Really
series.
should.
It will be Tiger King.
I haven't even finished it yet, but I can't even wait. I might finish it tonight.
You should.
I'm on episode 3, and I guess there's like 6 episodes or something.
There's 8.
So,
Yeah, I'm on 5.
We wrapped
already,
it up last week.
the mayhem already. Like, I can't handle it.
I
just
literally
can't.
chewed all my nails off.
So there's a funny thing going around with my friends that they're like, some of you guys didn't grow up in Florida and drive by the homestead sign, and it shows because other people around the country are like, oh my God, is this what happens in Florida? Like, fuck yes, it's what happens in Florida. This is none
Every
of
day.
this is surprising. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's the perfect time for something like this to come out on Netflix because, like, what the hell else does everybody have?
Right.
Everybody's holed up in their houses, and
Yep.
you know, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Supposed to do? Listen to this week's episode of Remember That One Time. That's what you're
Right.
supposed to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And so you are, in fact, listening to Remember That One Time with your hosts, Chris.
And CJ.
And welcome to episode 39, Sexy Sex Stories Part 3. We have a guest joining us tonight. Welcome the other Courtney Davenport.
Are you literally, you're strobing?
I know. I was just gonna say it's like a club.
Okay.
It's all in the club up in here.
So I have to go through like different settings on this light to get it to do what I want it to do, and it happened to strobe. My bad. You will recognize the other Mrs. Davenport. You'll recognize her voice from previous episodes where we interviewed our Facebook name twins and exchanged stories. So check that one out as well for a good laugh. Before we get started, here are a couple of very quick words from our sponsors.
So our first sponsor is Perfectly Polished Paragraphs. They are a proofreading company. They will help you out if you're building a website, if you're doing if you're a student and you're doing papers, if you are writing a book, anything that needs to be proofread, check them out. Their website is perfectlypolishedparagraphs.com. You can reach them at info@perfectlypolishedparagraphs.com. We do have a promo code for them, and it is PP20, and that gets you 10% off for any of their services. So hit them up because you don't want to write cockpot when you mean to say crockpot, because that's no good.
Exactly. Big difference.
Yeah.
Our second sponsor is Mic Drop Mobile Media. They are affordable, dependable, and unforgettable mobile DJ service. So they are there to put a soundtrack to your favorite memories, which coming up soon will probably be a hooray we survived the coronavirus party where we're all going to get together since we've been like starved for communication and social things. So once we all get together and party hardy, Mic Drop will be there to drop the bass. Good times.
That's going to be a good day when we can all get together again.
Oh, it's going to be banging.
This is insane. Like the biggest excitement I've had is going to the grocery store.
It's like life or death. I know.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
Our
I like
local grocery store has been out of toilet paper for like 3 weeks, and in place of the toilet paper, they have a box, and it's got cabbage leaves in it, and they're selling them for 25 cents.
my
Wow. The
Yeah.
things that people will do. My God.
And I've seen a couple of people actually buy them, so
gotta do what you gotta
it's
do in
getting
these
serious
times.
up in here. I have a plan though. Like I still have like 18 rolls of really crappy toilet paper, so I'm going to go through that first. And then I have 3 packs of baby wipes, and then I have 2 boxes of tissue, and then I have some old mismatched socks and some shop rags, and then after that I'm shit out of luck. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, here's something like some sort of secret life hack for you guys. Amazon still exists. Amazon will ship you as much toilet paper as you want. You just have to wait for FedEx to get here.
Spoiler alert, I did that today just to see how long the delivery time was for some toilet paper. Estimated delivery time, January 3rd, 2021.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I just ordered it a week ago and it said May 3rd. And I was like, what?
Yeah, like it's...
All right, well, corn chip it is.
Oh, my word.
Time to break out the seashells and the pine cones.
Yes.
Like level 6 could be like the grocery bags, like the plastic grocery bags or your doggy poop bags. Like you could try that at least, but it's not going to be very comfortable.
God, I hope it doesn't get to that.
Not at all.
You can always sacrifice a towel or two that you're not like in love with.
Yeah, that's true.
They're washable.
They are. You could just get a bidet, maybe.
There's that. You know, those are selling out too.
Yeah.
Okay, we have derailed completely.
Yes. Sorry.
Because that's what happens. CJ likes to ramble.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so we're getting started with weird places that these guys have had sex. Honestly, I don't think I've ever done anything in a weird place, so I'm just going to let these two take over for pretty much the entire show, and I will add my color commentary if I have anything.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go first because I don't want to ramble and take up all your time. So.
Oh, she will.
If we get to mine, we get to mine, but I want to hear yours.
Well, I thought maybe we could like volley back and forth because I'm much like the last time I was on your show. I'm going to kind of ramp up to the the story that I'm still even right now questioning whether or not I actually want to let escape from my parted lips.
That's what we're here for.
If you're asking yourself that question, that means you have to.
Exactly. It's show code.
Earlier tonight, I've already had like a virtual happy hour with like a handful of my girlfriends. So this bottle of wine is already like a quarter of the way gone. So we're
not even there.
It's not even there. It's gone.
We're gonna pour a little bit.
Okay.
And see.
There you go.
Is it barefoot?
Loose? No, it's a Chariot Gypsy. I don't know. It was on sale at Trader Joe's. What the hell? These are times, people. These are crazy times.
That's true. You gotta take what you can get.
So yeah, I suppose my first story is like a little exciting, but not too terribly exciting. But there was a boy in college that I was so in love with. He totally broke my heart. He lived long distance, and I met him in a summer job where I traveled around a lot. And he let me come visit him. And he was going to University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
He was a Wolverine. He was a band kid because that was my jam. Those were my people, and they will forever be my people.
We know.
Yes, dude.
Oh, I mean, we could have a whole conversation about the sections in band. Dude. You know, the drummers are always kind of hot but a little spiky, but it was the trumpet players. The trumpet players were the boys you had to watch out for, and they could do things with their mouth. So anyway,
well, Kristen knows.
I was about to say experience.
Yeah. So my guy was a clarinet player. I don't know what to make of that.
Great embouchure.
Yes. He knew how to handle his reed. Anyway.
And he was excellent at fingering?
Yes, he was quite adept at that. So I went to go visit him, and it was the very first football game of the season for college. And I'm sure a lot of towns do this, but the whole town of Ann Arbor shut down at noon on the day of the very first football game of the season. Businesses, shops down like the main street closed, shutters down. So the band typically, they did at this point, I don't know if they still do it, but they marched all the way from the band room in the streets to the stadium. It was like a big deal. And people would like celebrate and get behind them, and they would play their music really, really loud, and they marched all the way to the stadium. And so I got to like walk along next to them. Obviously, I'm just like holding Gatorades and being like, oh my God, my friends in there. He's so handsome.
I'm with the band.
I'm with the band. Hello. He's the like third clarinet chair right there. He's so amazing. So, so I'm following them or whatever, and then the game happens, and then they do their halftime show and all that stuff. And then I think later, it was later that night or maybe the night after, but we snuck back to the stadium. And we spread out a little beach towel on the 50-yard line.
It's not all you spread.
Oh, girl, yeah. And there were also some other things spread, and we totally got it on the 50-yard line in the stadium.
Nice.
It was pretty great. I was nervous though, because I was like, "There's got to be somebody who's going to come in here like at any second." But
like somebody
managed. We started, we achieved, we finished, we were out of there. So it was pretty great.
Get out, right?
Yeah, it was pretty great. And then later he went on to break my heart in a million pieces, but we won't talk about that. Right. Okay, so your turn.
All right. Let's see, my turn. What's the best one? No, I don't want to do the best one yet. Okay, so this one time we were, it was me and my high school boyfriend. So he lived on this back road, and his great grandmother actually lived across the street, and he would go over there and mow her grass for her. And so one time he was just finishing up, and we were going to go ride four-wheelers like way in her backfield after he was done. So I went ahead and went over there, and things got a little bit frisky. Mind you, this is like noon. It's like broad daylight. Great grandma and grandpa are inside, like taking their afternoon nap. And we were just like, let's get it on right here in the front yard.
How old are you at this point?
Way too young.
Like 14 or 15.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm one of those people, like, I lost it way too young. Like, I will be the first to admit, I had no business having sex as young as I did. But I think I made up for it because I had sex with the same guy all through high school and all through college. Like, that was it. It was one guy, and that was it. So I wasn't, like, bouncing around from person to person. But, yeah, I did it way too soon. But yeah, we were like, let's get busy right here. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, they're pretty much deaf. They're not going to hear anything.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure they need help getting out of the bed, so.
I'm sure that added a little bit to the excitement, too, of, like, we could get caught.
Yeah, it did. I will admit that it did. So, yeah.
Yeah, for me, on being on the 50-yard line in the stadium, the excitement of getting caught was more like, I'm like a good girl. I don't want to be arrested. Like, can we just
Let's make it quick.
Was this before like the mobile patrol app where like your friends could be scrolling like, look, Courtney Davenport got arrested for what would that be, like indecent exposure or
way earlier than anything like that. Won't talk about.
It's been a minute.
The ancientness of your name twin over here. No, that was way before that. But okay, so second story is I was seeing a guy who had a job that had like a van, like a cargo van.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working somewhere, and we just wanted to he was going to just come by and say hello for a little bit. So I met him in a parking lot near where I was working, and, one thing led to another, like they often do. And he was complimenting the way my legs looked in my skirt, and before I knew it, they were in the air. I mean, what are you going to do? So we were in the back of the van, and we were kind of getting it on, and it was getting a little, what's the right word? Aggressive isn't the right word, but involved might be the right word. The point where I could, one of those out-of-body experiences, things are happening, and I'm kind of like, I think this van is really moving, like a lot.
Oh no.
So, I mean, I could feel, I don't know if you've ever had sex in a car, but like you can kind of feel the whole chassis just like,
Mm-hmm.
For those of you in the podcast world, Courtney's moving back and forth right now. You can't see me, but, So that was happening, and I was like, oh, this van is really moving. But obviously, I was, thinking about other things too, and it was really great. And then we were done, but we were just sort of laying there talking for a little bit, and all of a sudden, like a shadow passes by one of the back windows, and we hear bam, 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 bam on one of the doors, and I'm freaked out. I jump up, and I jump into like the corner of the back of the van, and I just sort of like huddle down into a small circle.
Nice.
And he kind of crawls into the front seat, and I hear him talk to somebody, and it was a woman. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he goes, oh, I just pulled the van over to take a nap. And she goes, you were not taking a nap.
Ooh, she knows.
I heard those words, and instantly I was like, oh shit, the van was really, really rocking. Like, she was probably watching us from the building, and she took her happy ass all the way from the building and walked all the way out here. And but because I heard her say, you were not taking a nap. And he goes, I was taking a nap. And she's like, I know that's not what you were doing. And he's like, well, whatever, I'm leaving now. I'm going to go. And she's like, I've already called the police, and they're on their way over here. And he like starts the car and throws it in reverse. And she's just still standing there. And I'm in the back of the van listening to all this, like, oh my God, I'm going to be arrested. Do you see the recurring theme here? Courtney's like, I'm going to be arrested. But
yes.
Yeah, so I just huddled in the back of the van. So he pulls the car in reverse, and he just sort of like drives away while she's still standing there like, I called the police and blah, 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 and they're on their way. And so I'm asking him, and he's driving away, and I'm like, what was that? And he's like, yeah, she had a badge and everything.
Oh shit.
I don't know, what her deal was. And I was like, my car was next to your car.
Oh no.
I had to get back to work, and my car is right next to where we were parked. Yes. So, which I was way overdue back for my lunch break, but my car was parked right next to it. So I figured, I was like, because you always think that the person who's out to catch you knows everything that's in your head, which is not true.
Right.
But I was like, surely she knows that was my car sitting right next to you, and surely she's running my plate right now, and she knows exactly my name and where I live, and she's gonna go tell my parents and blah blah blah. Like, oh my God, my life is ruined, and I'm gonna be arrested. And so we drive around for like 15 minutes because I was like, don't go back to my car yet. I need her to like calm down and go away. And then I was so nervous, I had him drop me off like 3 blocks away. And I'm sitting here doing like a semi walk of shame, like fully dressed, but back to my car. And then I get to the outside of the parking lot, and it was a long ass freaking walk back to my car. And I just walked as fast as I could. I'm like power walking back to my car, just praying to death that some lady wasn't going to come, because I didn't know what she looked like. I didn't see her face. Praying that some lady isn't just going to come running over to me from the bushes going, I know that was you in the back of that van, and I know you weren't taking a nap. But I power walked back to my car and jumped into it and like pulled in reverse and pulled out as fast as I could. And we never heard another word about it. And then when I got back home, I looked up to see if regular people can look up your plates. And it turns out that regular people really can't. Like the police can.
Yeah.
But like a normal person can't just put in your plate number and know who you are. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm all right. And I never heard anything about it, but I was like, oh shit.
So I'm assuming you got back there, there was no police. They were gone.
No, thankfully nobody was. I thought for sure the second I turned that corner, she was just going to be leaning up against my car. And then what would I have done? I would have just kept walking. I don't know what, I would still be walking. I'd probably be like one of those people on Walkabout, just like having an existential vision or something. I'd still be walking to this day, but I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, that lady's coming to get me.
Completely empty parking lot, and you guys are like the only 2 vehicles like way in the back.
No, the thing is that we were so amateur about it. Like we didn't go all the way to the back. Had I done it now, I'd have been like, go to the back of the parking lot. So if I have to walk my happy ass back to the car, at least I don't have to come all the way into the parking lot and like take extra minutes to do that. But I was much younger then. So we just we didn't park right next to cars, but we parked like 5 or 6 spaces away from other cars. Yeah. And it was like an office building. And it wasn't, I mean, I was on my lunch, but it wasn't a typical lunchtime. So I didn't think anybody would be paying attention or walking around. But I'm pretty sure she saw the van probably shaking back and forth from the building and was like, I'm just going to go see what's going on out there and
Happening.
give some people a heart attack. So that
Fun.
was not a fun day. I was very, very nervous walking back. I don't think I've ever been so nervous just
Oh my-
walking. Ugh.
Nice. Well, that actually reminds me that I do have very similar. I didn't get caught or anything, and I didn't have any sort of confrontation, but there was two. I owned a minivan, which was for the same exact purpose, the Shaggin' Wagon. There was the first time at a Pilot truck stop at like 2 o'clock in the morning with some random guy that I had exchanged like smut stories with in the very beginning. It was really weird because I was like, I'm like into literature and writing and intellectual men. Can you like look over this and tell me what you think? And it was all stupid and smut. So we got together and that. But then the second time was the boyfriend down in South Carolina. We met the day after Thanksgiving in the middle, like halfway around Knoxville, Crab Orchard. It was the Crab Orchard exit for the Huddle House, but the H in Huddle House, the first one had like broken and it was turned this way, so it said Iuddle House. So technically, we banged in the Iuddle House parking lot off of an exit off of I-40 on the day after Thanksgiving. We didn't get busted for anything, but that's as exotic as I get. Chris Exotic.
You know, the Huddle House is not everywhere, so some people might consider that exotic.
It is.
Maybe.
That is true.
Maybe.
So I have a couple of just like little random ones. So I mean, I feel like everybody at some point has had sex in a cemetery. That's probably.
I have not. So this is new for me. Please do educate me.
I had phone sex. Does that count?
Get out of the vehicle and like it's not like we were fucking on a headstone or anything like that. I'm just saying like it was literally it's the one right down the road from your old house. It was like
Same one that I had the phone sex in, actually on the tombstone.
yeah.
Cool.
Plot twist, it was with each other. Dun dun dun.
Yes. Hey, people have been speculating since 4th grade.
That was like my place in high school. I would take my boyfriend and because it was like kind of there was like a little bitty hill, like a little rise, and then it went down. So if you parked way in the back, people going on the road, they couldn't see your car.
And it's all woods.
And it's all woods. And so, and it was close to home. And so I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I mean, he had a fucking Trans Am. It's not fun having sex in a Trans Am. And I made myself a promise when I was a kid. I said, when I grow up, I'm never having sex in a vehicle ever again because I'm an adult and I can have sex wherever I want. And since I became a grown-up, I've not had sex in a vehicle ever again.
Wow.
It's not fun. It's not. Unless you have a giant shaggin' wagon, but try doing it in a Trans Am. It ain't.
To take the T-tops off to fit, especially if you're going to straddle him, like your head has to come out of the top of the car.
Well, we used to get in the back seat. And just,
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I've had sex in the back seat of like a coupe or a sedan. You're right. You bang your head on the top. It's not, it's weird.
Like with the Trans Am, there's not a middle seat in the back. It's that weird hump. It's a mess. It is a hot mess. So we used to do that. And then we found another spot that was even closer to home that we would like. So if I was at his house or he was at my house and, I was going home, we could like stop there really quick, like bang it out. And then like he could take me home or whatever.
Bang it out.
And
we used to call it bang out a good one.
Bang out a good
Nice.
we could bang out a good one real fast and then he could take me home. And so it was this hayfield and we would like back in so that we could just like get out real quick. And so we backed in one day, turned out the lights, we're going at it, and all of a sudden I see like red and blue lights.
No. My worst nightmare.
and headlights pointed right at us. And then I saw a door open and a flashlight. So we've got two headlights and a flashlight pointed right at us. I can't see anything but this light and the red and blue lights. And I was like, this is it. This is it. And at that point, it was like dangerously close to, like, I was worried about the whole statutory rape thing because I think he turned 18 and I was not. I'm like running through my brain like, what's the age limit? What's the age of consent? Should I lie about my age and all this shit? And I was just like, this is it. Oh God. So we rolled down the window. It turned out to be one of our friends.
Thank God.
One of
No.
those little thingies that you put on the hood of the car that with the red and blue lights. It was one of our fucking friends. It was Kale.
Of course it was.
Yeah. And he was like, what y'all doing in there? I'm like, Kale, GTFO. It's not your damn business. We're busy. Banging out a good one.
Yes. I want you to take that phrase and use it forever now.
I'm going
Yeah, it's going to be a hashtag within 10 minutes.
Bang out a good one. That needs to maybe be the title of this episode.
You know what?
do it.
Done.
Do it.
Bang out a good one.
For this whole sexy sex series, we keep using the same title. So, like, why not call it Banging Out a Good One?
It's a great phrase. It describes everything you're looking to get across.
Yes.
All in one phrase.
Yep.
Okay, so, oh my God, deep breath. Here we go.
Oh, is this the one?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Hi, my name is Courtney, and I've been to a sex club. Oh God.
I'm dying to know what that entails.
First of all, the other Madam Courtney Davenport was just giving like victory hands down below me. She's like, yes, girl, yes.
I have to know everything.
Okay, so additional layer of fun to this story is, hi, my name is Courtney, and I've been to a sex club with a girl.
Yes.
Yep, it's all of the most fun things you could think about.
Yes.
So I had a friend with benefits
Nice.
that I met, and we knew each other for like a year, and we knew we wanted to be together in that way, but we couldn't like get our courage up to do it. Like it was so stupid. This was back in college. We would try and drink a little, and then we'd just get a little sleepy, and we would just make out a little, and then we'd fall asleep. And neither one of us were the aggressor. So we just like, we couldn't get our shit together to like go for it.
Something happened. Yeah.
I know. We would put ourselves in these situations where we thought for sure, and then it just wouldn't. And so I don't know how she found this place, but she did find it. And this was back, again, because your other friend, Courtney D, is more ancient than you are. This is like in the early days of the internet. So it's not like you could just do Google search and be like, sex club A, B, and C are 5 minutes from your dorm room. Like, that's just not how it went. But somehow she found this place, and she's like, do you want to go there? And I was like, yeah. Because I knew that the point of this was we were going to do this. And I was like, finally. Because I was impatient and she was impatient, and we kept laughing about it. But so we purposefully put ourselves in this situation where, you know, now looking back on it as a grown person, I was like, you purposefully put yourself in a damn dangerous situation. Like, that was pretty stupid. But, you know, you're in college and you think you know what you're doing. I'm grown. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
So we show up at this place in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't even exist anymore. It was called Plato's Repeat, which I guess there's a famous one in New York called Plato's Retreat.
Oh.
So this was kind of like an
So
imitation.
clever.
And it was super sketchy. The building was like really run down. Now that I think about it, I was like, what the hell? We go there, we have to bring our own alcohol and check it because they don't have a liquor license. They can't get one. Because if they get one, they have to reveal like what's going on in there. And so we bought some sort of cheap ass alcohol, and we checked it. We got a ticket for it or whatever. And then it had a lot of little rooms everywhere, which were very, very random. And one room was like a club kind of room where people are dancing and also making out, and also like some things were happening in the corners. And then there was another room that was playing the movie Armageddon with a bunch of couches. That was super random. Don't know why that was there. And then you'd walk down this hallway. I know, right? Like Chris has her mouth open. She's like, I don't even understand the world you're taking me into, Courtney.
What is happening?
You imagine my tiny college brain just blown by all of this. So, and then there were other rooms where you'd go down a hallway, and then there was just this one big room where it's just what you would think in a sex club. You walk into the room and there were people everywhere, and they were having sex. They were naked. There were probably like 15 people just laying around. And I'm looking and I'm tracking everybody. I'm looking, and I see boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. And I'm like, we're going to cause too much attention in here. We're not staying in this room. So we back out. I skipped over a part. We had been in the dance room for quite a while. I'm a dancey person. I think I said this on the last podcast I was on with you girls. Like, I really like to dance. I really like to go to clubs, and she liked to too. And we were dancing and we were getting sexy on the dance floor a little bit. And so right before this, you know, we were getting a little sexy. We were getting a little handsy. And finally, I'm like, I look at her and I just take her by the wrist and I'm like, let's go. So we go down that hallway, and that's where I saw all those people laying around. I'm like, this is not where we're going to have this first experience between you and me, because we're going to attract a lot of attention if we do that. So then there were like these individual little rooms near there. And thinking back on it again, you would walk into it. It was like the size of a walk-in closet. And there was like a mattress on, or a blanket on the floor. And it was probably like so dirty. Like, oh, what was I thinking? But I wasn't thinking. So that's the problem. So I find a little room and I'm about to like shove her in there, and this couple, this man and this woman, stop us and they go, oh my God, are you guys about to go in there? And I'm like, what do you think? Yes. And they go, can we please go in there with you? Can we please watch you?
What?
Please.
What?
And I look at them and I go, this is our first time doing this, so no. And the guy was like, please. And I like slammed the door in his face because he really wanted to come in. I was like, no. And then I mean, this is kind of hot, but I just basically like pushed her down on the ground and I was like, we're doing this. Then I dove in and things happened and she was real happy. Yeah, dove in head first. Actually head first. And and she was happy that night. And then we finally, after a year of knowing each other, finally got that first one over with. So, but we had to go into this crazy place to do it, where they were playing Armageddon in a side room in a movie room, which is crazy bizarre.
I haven't seen that movie in a long ass time.
I've actually never seen that movie.
Is there something sexy about it?
I mean, there's that one, there's that Aerosmith song, but other than that.
No, I've still never to this day seen that movie, because every time I like, if I scroll by it or I see it, I think about this night.
Nice. I do the same thing with The Notebook because of the drive-in movie theater with the same boyfriend she was talking about from high school and college. We shared him in the back of her mom's van. Like, she got the top half, I got the bottom half thing. And yeah, that was when The Notebook came out. So that shows you how long ago that was. I think I've watched it once since then, but that's all I can think of when I see it.
Yep. Sensory memory. I totally get it.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Oh my God.
So is this sex club a memory that you look back on fondly, or is it like, oh my God, what the fuck was I thinking?
No, so I really do look back on it fondly, and I've lost touch with that girl, and I can't find her on social media or anywhere, and I worry about her because, you know, I worry, and I wish I knew, you know, how she was doing. I know some people don't do social media, which is, you know, strange to me, but I'd love to check in with her and see how she is. But I actually totally think about this fondly because I remember how excited and happy I was and how brave I was feeling. And I was like, we are doing this. And so, and I wasn't really like, I've become a much more assertive person as I've become a grown up. But back then, for me to tell that couple, no, you're absolutely not coming in here. Like, I just slammed the door in his face. I was like, no. And
That was another pushing a girl head first into the ground moment.
right. But I was happy. Like I wanted to feel close to her and I liked her a lot. And, I wanted that to happen and it did. And it was really, really wonderful. And I have fond memories of her. But there is also the grown-up part of me now that if I had a daughter that did that, I would be like, what the hell were you thinking? You could have been killed or murdered or being on a porn tape. Like, you're probably on the web somewhere. What are you doing? So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly all good memories, 80% good memories, 20% what the hell.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So, if you've ever seen the movie House of Wax, if you haven't, don't, because it's.
I haven't.
So me and that same high school boyfriend went to see it one time, and about, I don't know, 30 minutes in, we were like, this movie fucking sucks. Like, anything with Paris Hilton in it, like, it's gonna suck. And so we were like, I mean, there's like maybe, we're at the very top, and there's like maybe 2 or 3 people down there on like the second row, so we're like, yeah, we could do this. This was in the age of mini skirts, like denim mini skirts with like a cute tank top, which is what I was wearing because I used to be skinny.
That was your outfit. Like, that was your uniform in high school.
It was. It really
easy access, easy service.
Easy access. And so I was like, let's do it. And we did it. And then I realized after the movie was over, because we were literally like, not on the very back row, but like maybe 3 rows down and like right in front of the projection thing. There was a dude standing in the projection window.
Of course.
Like, he saw the whole thing.
He saw the whole thing.
There's a sticky puddle right underneath where he's standing right now.
I know, like in my mind at first, I was like, that nasty motherfucker. He was like watching us have sex, but then, like looking back, he was like not our age. He was a little bit older, so I was like, no. In reality, he was probably like, oh man, I'm gonna have to clean that up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's really, not soda.
That's probably what he was thinking. So
he probably got on that radio and was like, Tyler, we gotta clean up on aisle 3 in the House of Wax room.
House of Wax room.
You go after that. Let me know when you're done.
They start cleaning up. They're like, oh, that's not wax.
No. No. Yikes.
Not even a little bit.
No. Do you have any more, or should I continue?
No, I mean, that's it. I've apexed at the sex club. I mean, I don't know where else you could go from there.
Yeah, true. I don't think any of mine can top that. But one time I did have sex with a guy in a bathroom in a bar. I mean, that's nasty anyway, because have you ever been to Club La Vila in Panama City Beach? So
no, but I go there for work now. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know I'm sure people do this in Florida, but like when you have like 2 families that they both have trailers next to each other, and sometimes they'll like scoot them together and duct tape them together. And just imagine.
She lives in Florida. Of course she knows that.
And you're just imagining like there's some weird thresholds where like one trailer meets another. That's what the inside of Club La Vila looks like.
It's called like, Thanksgiving. What's weird about this?
Like very odd like thresholds where you're crossing from one room into another, where like there's like a weird step, but the floors are like uneven. And so it was a bar like that in Nashville. It was very sketch, and nothing, like the floor plan of it just did not make sense. There was weird ass hallways that went to nowhere. There was doors that went to empty rooms. It was bizarre, and I was really drunk, and so I don't really remember exactly where it was. I just remembered that we were in this skinny ass hallway, and it was stairs in a hallway, and we were walking down the stairs and we saw this door, and I was like, where does this door go? And so I opened it, and it's this tiny, nasty ass bathroom. I'm talking the sink is like cockeyed, like hanging by like one drywall nail off the wall. And I was like, this looks like a good place to fuck. We should fuck here.
As one does.
It's okay. I won't put all my weight on the sink, so hopefully it doesn't come crashing down. And so we have sex in this nasty ass bathroom. And oh, I don't know what came over me, but I said, let's get married. And he said, that's a great idea.
No.
We drove to it. Neither one of us have had any business driving. We drove to an all-night chapel. There's one in Nashville. We drove there, and we tried to get in, and it was locked, probably because it was 3 a.m.
The dick was that good that you wanted to marry it right then and there? Damn.
I know, right?
It wasn't. I was just drunk.
Courtney, though. Girl.
So,
Oh, no, it gets better.
oh, yeah.
I know the end result to this.
Oh, my God.
So,
You got me touching my mouth over here, and that's exactly what I'm not supposed to be doing right now in this age of coronavirus. Girl.
yeah, so I went home with him, and I mean, I had been like talking to him. I'd been on like maybe 2 dates with him. I'd been talking to him for like maybe 3 weeks. I met him on POF. Went home with him, and I woke up feeling like absolute dog shit. And I was just laying there thinking, oh my God, I almost made a really, really terrible choice last night. And I was thinking that he was probably going to wake up and think the same thing. But he didn't. He woke up and continued, like, even in his sober mind, he continued to think that this was a great idea.
So we gonna do this or not?
We should legit get married. And so he kept asking me over and over and over. And I was just like, ugh. Like, I had been in this relationship right before him that I was like, I love this guy. We had been together for a long time. I was going to marry him, and it didn't work out. And I kind of, like, I didn't want to admit it, but, like, in the back of my mind, I was like,
Rebound.
It's gonna happen one day. Like, I'm going to be with this guy. So I'm just going to, like, waste my time doing whatever until he realizes that I'm the shit and we need to be together. And he never realized that. And so I wound up with this dude, and he finally convinced me to marry him, and I did.
She did.
I did.
She married this man.
I knew him for 7 weeks when I married him.
7.
So, hi, Courtney Davenport, Can't Believe It News. My question to you is, are you still married to this?
No.
Okay, good. Woo, good. Oh, Lord, I'm going to take another drink of wine. Woo, okay.
No, we got married on September 30th, and I asked for a divorce on May 5th.
Whoa. She moves fast. She's a decisive person.
This guy
she knows what
was
she wants and what she doesn't want.
Exactly. This guy was a hot mess express. And so she needed to get him gone ASAP. He's the kind of douchebag where you say off the cuff, you just be like, oh, Jesus, like in his presence. And he'd be like, it's okay. You can call me, whatever his name is. I don't know if you're okay with blasting him.
He should not be named.
Yeah, he who should not be named. So we'll say it's like Cody. Be like, oh, Jesus. No, it's okay. You can call me Cody.
His name should be Kyle.
Kyle, yeah, he's definitely a Kyle.
It's so a Kyle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was that.
Somehow in my brain, for the longest time, I had it in my head that the story went like this instead. I thought that they had met at the, what's that rooftop bar in Nashville? It's like O'Patty's or something. O'Flanagan's, O'Farrett.
Like every bar downtown is a rooftop bar. Literally every single one of them.
It's some sort of Irish name is the bar. But I thought that you guys like just one night out of nowhere had just met up there. It was like see each other across the crowded room and drifted towards each other. But then later that same night, you guys went to Sparrow underneath the parking garage, and he proposed to you at the Sparrow that same night, and then you guys got married the next day. I don't know how I got that, but that's what I thought for like 5 years.
The reason she thinks that is because she is combining two different stories. So the reason we were downtown and drinking and at this bar in the first place was because he brought some of his family to Nashville and they wanted to see downtown. And so we got real dressed up and we took them downtown. We took them bar hopping and everything. So we were downtown and we were very close to the Sbarro, but we didn't go inside. On another night, like 2 years before that, me and a couple of friends had gone to Wild Horse. Sbarro is like almost right across from Wild Horse. So, and we parked in the parking garage on top of Sbarro. So we stopped there to get pizza before we left. And while we were in there, it's like 2:30 in the morning. There was a guy that I saw him propose to his girlfriend inside Sbarro. And she said yes.
Okay, I have so many thoughts. I need a minute. I have so many thoughts. Follow-up question. Courtney Davenport, What the Fuck News? Follow-up question. You keep saying Sbarro, which is like the cutest, most adorable thing I ever did see, because you are so incredibly Southern that you were calling it Sbarro.
Sbarro. I know, it kills me too.
Oh my God, my little heart is.
She said sparrow, and I was like, that sounds like a bird.
We here in Florida, who have a lot of like New York transplants, we call it Sbarro. But that's like the mall pizza. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there's a whole ass restaurant downtown.
You walk in, they have a full length buffet and like tons and tons of tables. And it's the very first floor, and then everything above it for like 7 floors is all parking garage.
So the strength of this amazing pizza is causing people to say yes to a marriage proposal? Is that the information that I am to glean from this?
It's got to be.
Like, he had a ring and everything. Like, he wasn't like just like spur of the moment, like, this pepperoni is so good, I have to make you mine right now. Like, he was prepared. He had a ring. I don't know if it had some like. Now I feel self-conscious saying the pizza place name. I don't know if this pizza.
To say it, the pizza place.
I don't know if this pizza restaurant had some significance to them, like maybe they went there on their first date or something. But
okay, well, that's actually like cute.
At 2:30 in the morning, like, if you're gonna do it there for sentimental reasons, like, why are we doing it at 2:30 in the morning?
No, didn't you hear that phrase? Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Like, that's got to be the case here.
Drunk. I'm pretty sure they had to be drunk. She had to be drunk. She said yes. I mean, even if they had their first date there, like, that's just not a place where you propose.
Well, even if you think Sbarro pizza is good, you have to be drunk. I mean, that's like a controversial take here.
I
don't eat Waffle House if I am drunk, because that is the only time I think Waffle House tastes good. And all of my, did you just hear the sound of all of my Georgia family disowning me? Because that just happened. So, yeah. But Sbarro pizza is terrible. Now their baked ziti, that's different. Their baked ziti is pretty good.
I'm pretty sure that night I actually did have baked ziti instead.
Yeah, baked ziti is awesome.
But I mean, everything there is grossly overpriced.
Sure.
I mean, granted, yes, their pizza slices are big. You know, it's like this. But that slice of pizza is still not worth $12.50. I mean, come on.
No, come to Sbarro where the pizza slices are big, just like your dreams of happiness forever.
Yeah.
They should change their tagline.
Totally, that works.
They had a massive group with them. It was a group of like 20 people. So like that kind of led me to believe like he got them all together for this occasion. Like, hey, come to this pizza place because I'm going to propose to my girlfriend and I would like you all to be there at 2:30 in the morning. Like, I have so many questions, but I didn't want to like, I mean, they looked genuinely happy that like she was tearing up and stuff, and she was like taking the greasy napkins and like dabbing her eyes, and I was just like, I have questions, but like this looks legit. I don't want to like barge in on their moment, but I need answers.
She was probably tearing up because she was like, bitch, you're proposing to me in a Sbarro? You couldn't think of anything better at 2 in the damn morning? Oh my God. No.
And somehow, I don't know, Chris got those two stories like meshed, and somehow I became the one that was proposed to at this fine pizza establishment.
This fine pizza establishment.
I saw something very similar here at my local Walmart. I'm in a city that's not like small town where we grew up, but it's also not as big as Nashville.
If
And so
Joe
we,
Exotic lived in Tennessee, this is the city he would live
yeah,
in.
this is the city he
Okay,
would live
I
in.
have the picture. Thank you for painting the picture for me.
Exactly. There's one Walmart for the entire county, and I live within walking distance to it.
Hmm.
And so we were there, and all of this commotion happened, and we look around, and this guy had purchased an engagement ring in the jewelry counter, turned around at the end of that purchase, dropped to his knee, and proposed at that moment in the Walmart. Just could not wait.
Oh, that's
And
kind of
then,
sweet.
but you know, it was planned too because her entire family started like coming out of the aisles. Like there was nobody, and then suddenly there's like 50 people all clapping and crying. I'm like, how did you guys like organize a flash mob?
Grandma, get out of the yarn aisle. They're proposing right now.
Right.
Did they meet there and like he was her supervisor and like they fell in love when he bent her over the break room table?
It's possible.
That's how it happened, maybe?
I don't know. It was like, hey, baby, which one of these do you like? Pick one out. Cool, that one. Here's my credit card. Turn around, drop to the knee, marry me. Here's your family. Like, that's how that went within a span of like 15 minutes.
Well, that's actually kind of cute because he couldn't even stand to wait. That's kind of adorable. That's actually very similar to the way my husband proposed to me. He had the ring in his pocket for about, well, he had it in his pocket all day, and then we were alone for 5 minutes, and he wound up proposing to me at a stoplight while I was driving a car.
Nice.
Because he couldn't, I mean, this is a different story. It's not, like sort of related to future sex we would be having, but
There you go.
yeah, it was an heirloom ring, and
Nice.
he got it from his mother, and we've been shopping with his mother all day long, and then we left his parents, and we were in the car, and we went like one stoplight and one stop sign and one stop light, and all of a sudden he
Oops.
makes a noise over here, and I'm driving the car, and he ping, and I look over, and he goes, "Want to get married?" And this like gorgeous freaking heirloom ring is staring at me, and the first thing I said was not yes or no or let's talk about this. I go, "God, that thing is gorgeous."
Yes.
And then I was like, "I'm pulling the car over and you're doing this the right way. You're going to get down on one knee." So I made him get down on one knee in
Aw.
a parking garage at the mall.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
love it.
it's pretty cute.
He was just like riding in the car and he's like all flustered, like, I have to do it now or I'll never do it.
Yeah, apparently, because we were going on a cruise in about a month and a half, and he had planned on doing it on the cruise, and that's the whole, he's told to talk to his mom. They came into town. He's like, "Bring the ring. I'm going to do it."
Mhm.
He brought the ring. The possession of the ring was transferred outside of my knowledge, and then he just couldn't even stand it to wait
Oh
for
my
the cruise.
goodness.
So he waited one stop sign and one stop light, and then he was like, popping it right here, and I'm like, "God, that
That's
thing's
adorable.
beautiful."
Aw.
Yeah,
So sweet.
it is pretty cute.
I love
Oh,
it.
we ended on a really sweet note. That's so cute.
Yeah, I love
We can
it.
kind of like forget about all the debauchery and whorishness that happened before.
Right?
Doesn't matter because you found your soulmate.
Hooray!
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need to update our listeners really quickly about this
Yes.
whole Beer Olympics thing.
Yeah.
So, as we know, we are living in the midst of COVID-19. We don't know what's going to happen day to day.
Mm-mm.
In Tennessee, things keep changing. So, honestly, I mean, so today is April
The
1st.
first.
The Beer Olympics is not until the 18th. So that's 17 days. It's probably going to change 17 times.
Yes.
So at this point, I am saying as long as it is legal for us to congregate,
We
gonna-
doing it.
we're going to have this Beer Olympics because I have been planning this for a year. And it's going to happen. Unless the governor of Tennessee specifically tells me that I cannot, or I will go to jail or be fined, it's going to happen. I've already had a bunch of people say that they're not scared and they're coming no matter what.
That's the
So-
most Tennessee thing. I ain't scared no virus.
I ain't scared of your flu. So
Mm-mm.
that's where we're at this point. Everything is still a go. So Beer Olympics starts at noon on April the 18th. It is here at my house. Check
Possibly.
out the Facebook event. Do what?
I said possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Check out the Facebook event. It's got all the details. You can find you a team. If you don't have a team already, put one together. So yeah, we're just going to take it as it comes. And if it, if we're not able to do it, then we will reschedule. It's going to happen. It's not going to get canceled. If this whole thing happens, we'll reschedule it, but it will happen.
Do you have to have a team to do this Beer Olympics?
Do what?
You have
to have a team?
Well, I mean, yeah.
So what are some interesting team names that you've had submitted?
Let's see. Well, nobody's submitted theirs for this year yet. They're all just, they're going to write it on the board when they get here. But last year we only had 2 teams last year.
Team Ramrod.
Yeah, Team Ramrod and Purple Cobra.
So if I were coming, which I super wish I was, I'm more of a wine girl and a mixed drink girl, but I would try to hold my own. I think I would call my team, "We're here, we're beer, get used to it."
Nice.
I love that.
I think my favorite team name of anything I've seen, I also host trivia nights during the week, and my favorite trivia name was I Don't Pull Out, But My Couch Does.
Whoa, I love that.
Yes, it was strong.
So one more funny team name. We're signed up to do a color run in Orlando.
We did that.
They're so fun, right? A friend of ours used to run in high school and then didn't run for years and years and just started running again. So I was like, we got to do a 5K and we got to do the color run because those are the most fun because you're so excited when you're running and you just see, oh my God, yellow is next. And oh my God, green is next. And you forget what you're doing. So because it's a color run, our team name is called Beige Against the Machine.
Nice.
Oh
my God.
Right? That is so punny. I love it.
I know. We had to come up with a good one. So yeah, Beige Against the Machine is what we picked. But I'm really hoping we still get to do it because it's at the end of May. So I'm hoping maybe the world will be back right side up by then, but who knows?
Oh God, I hope so.
That's
Me too.
hysterical.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, if it keeps going on like this, shit, you could probably get a flight here and back for $20.
Oh, for real. I've heard about how cheap the flights are.
Have you looked? Southwest.com is stupid cheap right now. I can visit my family.
That's if they allow you to fly, though.
Yeah.
It is so crazy how cheap it is.
Yeah.
And gas is, oh my God, I got gas the other day for $1.32. It's ridiculous.
It was beautiful.
It's all dirt cheap and we can't fucking go anywhere.
Yep, that's the irony.
Yep. Well, something else, another announcement, we are supplementing our podcast now with this really cool kind of radio show. There's an app called Station Head. It's only an app, so not something you can access on your web browser, but you can definitely access it on your phone. Again, that's called Station Head. We post the links to it, but we go live on air on Wednesdays around 7:30. We play playlists off Spotify. They can either be playlists that were curated specifically from our special guests, like this one was, or they will be songs relating to the theme of our podcast, or if we have a featured artist on the podcast, then we're also going to feature their music as well. So it's kind of throwing music in with our incessant rambling. So that's fun. And since we have reached over 1,000 plays now and over 500 Facebook likes, we are going to do an Ask Me Anything or an AMA on Facebook Live. Not exactly sure when that's going to happen yet. Probably over the weekend, maybe. I'm not sure. We'll put it up on Facebook when we decide an exact date and time for that. But go ahead and send us your questions ahead of time at yolo@rtotshow.com. So that's our tot show. Again, that is yolo@rtotshow.com. Send us any question. We are not turning down any questions whatsoever. This is your time to interview us, so we're going to do that as well. CJ, what did you learn?
I learned that I still really want to know what is sexy about, what would you say, Armageddon? Is that what the movie that was playing?
Armageddon.
Yeah. I learned that I need to watch Armageddon because I want to know what is sexy about that.
Exactly. I learned that our guest Courtney was in a sex club with a
Oh,
sexy
God.
lady. I love it. What did you learn?
I learned that not everybody pronounces Sparrow the way we do here in Florida.
True story.
Mhm.
Saying that word ever again. I'm just going to call it a fine pizza establishment.
You should. It's the finest. It is the very finest.
That should honestly be like the rest of its name. It should be like Sparrow, a fine pizza establishment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write a letter to their CEO as soon as we hang up.
I'm sure they're going to listen. Absolutely.
Right? Well, remember, as always, to say yes to adventures because they become stories, and in the end, that is all we are. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, girls.
With your invisible wine bottle.
It's right here, I promise.
There it is. The glitchy one.
I know.
I love it. Yeah, I